Hello guys, welcome back to another weekly review video. We're going to go through each of my sessions from this past week and talk about how things went, how I've been feeling, and how things are building up to race day, which is only 2 weeks and 6 days away. I'm really excited. I'm really grateful my training has been going pretty well and I've hit some pretty key workouts. I did have a little bit of pain this week and we'll talk about that a little bit. But anyways, we'll jump right in. So Monday, I did a 12-mile easy run, really trying to keep my heart rate under the 80% of my max heart rate, which is about 160 beats per minute for me. And this was one of those runs where I was wondering how productive that really is, to focus so much on that one metric, on my heart rate. Because as you look at my splits, you'll see that my pace kind of gradually declines throughout the run. And I think there's two ways to digest that. Either I stop caring so much about the one metric of my heart rate, or there are legitimate reasons why my heart rate might be higher than I want it to be on a Monday easy run like this one. I think the latter is the case because on Saturday, just 2 days before, I had done the two really hard sessions, the 8x800 repeats and the 10-mile tempo run. So it was altogether 20 miles of really hard running. And so it's understandable that my body would need maybe more time than I gave it to recover. But anyways, I think what I might start doing, and I've mentioned this in a few videos, is building in a recovery run on Sunday. And my hypothesis is that that might help me on a Monday easy run to keep my heart rate a little bit lower where I want it to be. So stay tuned for that. We'll see how that goes. On Tuesday, there was a little bit of a time crunch. I had about an hour between the end of work and a late work meeting. And so I squeezed in this out and back run from work. And I felt really good. I do remember feeling a little bit more recovered than Monday. It was easier to stay under the 80% of my max heart rate. I do remember wishing that I could have run this on trails, just because I think my legs had been feeling the pounding of pavement, on the roads and on the paved trails that I sometimes run. But in any case, it was great to get that session in and set things up for Wednesday, which was my planned speed day. I had been planning 4x3 mile intervals, but that quickly changed and it became kind of a Frankenstein run of 1.5 mile warm up, 3x1 mile intervals, and then finished off with a 4 mile progressive run. And I was really grateful that I got some speed in. That's kind of the goal of these sessions, is just to run a little bit faster than I do on my easy days, So, but I kind of left that run feeling a little bit dissatisfied, and I wanted to do that 4x3 mile workout some other time. So Thursday's run was an easy hilly run. Grateful that I was able to hit the trails for this one. One of the issues that I have is that most of my training happens almost when the sun is setting or when it has already set. And that was the case for this run. It was very dark and I need to invest in a better headlamp because unfortunately I ended up pulling or hyperextending something on my right leg, kind of near my hamstring or my knee. And so that's kind of caused me issues ever since. In hindsight, I probably could have just run this on roads or some other just flat surface that wouldn't have any surprises in the dark. And ultimately, that knee pain is kind of what caused me to cut Friday's workout a little bit short. I was planning 12 miles easy, but I ended up doing only 5.4 miles easy, which I think was a good call. I didn't want to push things harder than they needed to be, especially because I was hoping to do the 4x3 mile intervals on Saturday, but I ended up doing something different. I went ahead and did an adventure run, which was really fun. You should watch my video about that. I love adventure runs, just to go and explore a trail system and kind of see if I can get from point A to point B. Ended up getting lost. But anyways, I think there are two things that I learned last week. One is I think I need to change the way that I recover from hard sessions like the 800 repeats and 10-mile tempo run. I should be more open to the idea of hopping on a bike or maybe even going swimming. That cross-training has always been beneficial to me in the past. I just haven't been doing it now because I've been more constricted in my time and maybe some other excuses as well. But the second thing that I learned is that I really need to beef up my warm-up routine As you've seen on Strava or in these videos, the extent of my warm-up routine has been kind of like a mile or two of easy jogging, but I haven't done any like dynamic stretches or hip activation exercises or other like boring things with a resistance band to help prevent injury. Those are things I really got to return to. I think that would help me to stay balanced. Potentially weak hips is the reason for my knee pain anyways, and so I'm going to try to do those things this week, certainly into my training for Top of Utah in September. So stay tuned for that. I'll try to include that in my videos as well.